Auto accident attorneys. How to find a competent one and how to help them build a strong car accident claim for you. So you've been involved in a car accident and think you may have a case? How do you find the right attorney to help you and how to help them build a strong claim for you? Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Severity Kiwi. I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous today. And if you're doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka. Let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about auto accident attorneys and how you can find a great one and how you can help them build a strong car accident claim for you. Now, number one, you have to know what type of auto accident attorney you're looking for. Before you even start doing searches, it's better to have a good idea of the qualities and terms you're looking for in a car accident attorney, right? Because this may differ a little according to your personality, the area where you live in the country, your case, right? So those things are very important. There are a few questions you need to think about and ask the attorney eventually so that you can have a framework for what you're looking for. Now, evaluate the complete team of staff, not just the partners, not just the people who make up the public face of the law firm, right? You see on TV they have ads, or you want to look for the senior partners who appear in newspapers. No, you have to keep in mind that as you research and interact with the firm, that it may not be the same person you spoke to initially who will be your primary contact, right? Also, one thing you want to find out more about the companies, the law firm's age, their experience, the size. You want to figure out whether they've received some leadership roles or they have received some awards in organizations. Those could be good indicators of great corporate citizenship, right? You also want to think about judicial connections. In other words, are they part of the local bar association? Do they contribute to campaigns? Right? What is their comfort with going to trial? Right? You want to know how many of their cases went to trial and the success rate of those that did. Because the thing is that it's a good metric for a future performance. Even though you can't predict you can't predict future performance based on past accolades, it's always a great, metric to know that somebody has experience. Some lawyers will even have this information about their success rate posted on their website, right? Another question you want to ask is whether or not the attorneys have tried or settled similar cases in your city or county, right? Do they have an office near you? Again, here I'm talking about those big regional or national law firms. If you reach out to a smaller law firm, it's easier because they have an office. They definitely have an office near you, and maybe that's the only office they have, right? You also want to be very careful about experience. Here we're going from the general into the particular. You want to look for experience with your particular type of case, right? You want to know that they really have experience and expertise when it comes to dealing with your specific case. Also, you want to check out their negotiation ability, right? You want to sort of find out what kind of settlements they have obtained in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, right? Remember that about 90% of personal injury cases are settled without trial. That's a huge percentage, right? Which means the quasi majority of cases are settled without trial. So some car attorneys will have their, this kind of info posted on their website. Now, one thing that you want to pay attention to also is the vibe. How do you feel around this person, the lawyer? Your personal comfort. Are you comfortable? Is the vibe good? Is it positive? Do you feel something? Right? Another thing you want to pay attention to is timing. Are they available? The last thing you want to do is start chasing an attorney who is supposed to represent you. Because if they're too busy to devote time to your case, that's a red flag right there. Right? If you can also try to get a sense of how long their cases are taking, right? Another question you might ask the lawyer, or this might guide you in your research about the lawyer, is past problems. Have they had any sort of disciplinary problems, right? Have they been censured before? Have they been disciplined by any legal or ethics committee in the past, right? You want to look this up before contacting any attorney, because you don't want to waste your time, right? Are they part of the bar, the state bar, or the county bar? Another thing you can pay attention to is past client reviews, right? You want to be very careful and thorough about what others say about them, especially on independent review sites. All right, I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're still here having a wonderful conversation about auto accident attorneys, how to find a competent one, how to help them build a strong case for you, a strong claim for you, right? So in the first section, I spoke about guidelines that can help you know what type of auto accident attorney you're looking for. Now, you got to follow these practical tips to help your attorney build a strong auto accident claim. Now, first thing you got to do is when if after the accident happens, you want to seek medical attention for anyone who is hurt. You want to call 911 for emergency medical attention. A lot of folks on the scene may say that they feel fine, only to start hurting an hour later or the next day, right? Because adrenaline starts pumping through your body through the wreck. That adrenaline can max pain. So if you start feeling pain, let alone get medical care ASAP. The longer you wait, the worse it will get, right? Call the police, right? Because all accidents, and that's the law, should be reported to the police. Request that the police file an accident report as evidence of your claim. If the police officer does not file a report, instead giving you the option of filling out a form and sending it in, be sure to do so, right? You want to say whatever the law enforcement officer tells you to do. Also gather contact information, right? You want to get the names, phone numbers, and insurance information for the other drivers involved in the wreck. Use your phone to take a picture of the insurance information. Another thing you want to do is collect the names and contact details for any witnesses to the accident, right? This is very important because your auto accident attorney will need the witness statements as valuable evidence for your claim. You also want to take pictures. Use technology to your advantage, right? Take pictures of the accident scene. You want to photograph the cars, the accident scene, road conditions that may have contributed to the wreck. This evidence can help prove the other driver's negligence. Never admit fault. All right? You want to wait for the claim to be fully investigated to make conclusions about responsibility. Don't talk to the insurance company or the other party. You don't want to do anything. Keep track of your medical bills and doctor visits. You want to keep a diary, if possible, of your injuries and how they've impacted your daily life. This is very important because when it comes to estimating damages, the judge will want to look at all those elements. Now, of course, you want to report the accident to your insurance company. This is very important. Make a report, but don't accept a settlement offer until you have spoken with counsel, right? Because your property damage claim, the damage to your vehicle, is separate from your personal injury claim, which is the damage to you as a human being, right? So the last thing you want is to accidentally sign away your bodily injury claim with your property damage settlement. All right. And two other practical tips that will help you build a strong auto accident claim are avoid social media. This is very, very important. You want to avoid social media at all costs because you don't want to talk about your accident on social media, Facebook, because insurance adjusters may try to discredit your claim by using statements or even pictures posted to social media websites. All right. And hire a lawyer. The last thing here is that, especially when it comes to personal injury, you want to hire a lawyer. You want to hire an experienced attorney who can handle the paperwork with both insurance companies so that you get the compensation you deserve. All right? Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back right after this. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Severity Kiwi. We're still having a conversation about how to find a competent auto accident attorney and how to help them build a strong car accident claim for you. Now, now that you have followed the tips that I gave you to help your attorney build a strong auto accident claim for you, you need to understand that reaching an injury settlement can take weeks or years. Right? There is no typical personal injury case. Every fact pattern, issue, party, or injury differs, right? Even if slightly. So it's nearly impossible for any lawyer to predict how long your case might take until you receive a settlement or award of damages, right? Now, the on average in the industry, most accident and injury claims seem to be settled within 1 or 2 years. All right, with the average being 18 months, right? Now, the reason why it takes that long is because there are several steps involved. And here are some of them, all right? So you need to engage an attorney. So while you're doing that, the other party is also doing the same thing, right? So when do you need to hire an attorney? Right away, right? If you're out of work for more than a couple of days, if you break a bone, or if your medical bills total more than a couple of $1,000s, you might want to hire an attorney. Start the case. You want to begin the initial paperwork and process with your lawyer. You want to let the other party know that you intend to file a claim. Remember, the statute of limitations determine how long you have to file a claim. This time limit varies by state. So this is why you want to get a lawyer who knows the conditions in your state. Now, the step 3 is the discovery process, right? Now, this might take anywhere from 6 months to 1 year, sometimes longer. It depending upon the complexity of the wreck and complexity of the case or the claim itself. In this process, during discovery, both lawyers will dig up facts, gather and produce documents, right? Police reports, medical records, etc., take depositions and witness statements. They will also investigate any disputes about the event, right? The discovery process might also include accident reconstructions or other research. In this period, all parties will also wait for the maximum medical improvement, MMI, or a firm prognosis from a medical expert. And there's also an exchange of documents where one party submits a demand letter after sufficient information has been gathered. So the insurance carrier or other party will have to respond, and so on. Now, step 4, court motions. Right now, at this stage, the case may be dismissed or have a judgment entered due to factors such as jurisdiction, venue, improper process, default, and so on and so forth. Right now, this can happen even before the discovery process, by the way. Now, the next step here is that an attempt settlement. So you can settle, the case may be settled by negotiation, mediation, or arbitration. Now, most cases will be settled. As I said earlier, 90 to 95% of cases are settled. Now, if settlement is not reached, then a lawsuit may be filed, right? So depending on where your case stands in the statute of limitations, the lawsuit may be filed sooner. Step 6, if a lawsuit is filed, you got to go to trial, right? So settlements might also occur during the trial process. So motions and other arguments will occur separately from the jury hearing the case. The next step is the verdict, right? How long? As I said earlier, 1 to 2 years from filing the suit, with the average being 18 months. If the plaintiff wins, the defendant owes him or her the amount determined by the jury. The defense may appeal, which could force settlements for a lower dollar amount than the jury sets. Step 8, you have the appeal. If the appeal is successful, there may be a new trial or settlement. And then you have the last step, step 9, collection. If the plaintiff is successful, collection of the judgment begins, or effort to collect, right? Because now it's not always easy to collect. So the court will order efforts to start to collect the judgment. The judgment may be a lump sum, or it may be broken up into payments. All right. So this is basically, the reason why reaching an injury settlement can take weeks or years, depending upon the case. All right. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We are about to wrap up today's show, and I want to talk to you about understanding that timing depends on several factors. And if you love the clarity and the quality of the content so far, please consider subscribing to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you are informed whenever we drop a new show. We release this kind of shows every single day, rain or shine. And if you have some experience with a personal injury or auto accident attorney, please let us know in the comments section. Share this content and like. So, understand that timing depends on several factors. Number one, the complexity of the case, right? Let's say you have a simple case is a slip and fall. A complex case could be medical malpractice. Another factor is the amount of damages, right? Quicker, about 100,000, about 10 grand. Slower, 1 million. So if you're asking for $1 million, the case will drag on for a long time. If the injuries are severe, so the severity of injuries also will play a role when it comes to timing. So if you have, you have to wait for maximum medical improvement or firm prognosis, mild will be a sprained ankle, for instance, and brain damage or death could be severe, right? The caseload in your jurisdiction is another factor to think about. Once you file a lawsuit, you are at the mercy of the courts regarding court dates, which may also change right up to the last moment, right? Your patience. So your willingness to wait for a greater result. So if you want to settle quickly, then you get less money. If you are patient, you can get more money, right? Just a matter of, it's just part of the game here. Now, the defendant's willingness to settle, right? How willing the other party is to settle quickly. How much do they want to avoid a lawsuit? That will also determine whether or not you get things done quickly or less quickly. All right, folks. So let's just wrap up today's show here. Today we talked about, know what type of auto accident you're looking for, auto accident lawyer you're looking for. You want to follow a few practical tips to help your lawyer build a strong auto claim accident. You want to follow this. I've given you a few practical tips to help your lawyer file a strong auto accident claim. You want to understand that reaching an injury settlement can take weeks or years, and you want to understand that timing depends on several factors, right? So now, here is today's call to action. In every show, we like to give a call to action to our viewers and listeners. And today's call to action is very simple. Do your part. The attorney you hired to represent you in an auto accident case is only one member of the team, right? So you have to do your part. You have to maintain all appointments to meet with your lawyer, keep all your documents organized, and answer any letters or phone calls you receive from your attorney's office. This is very important. If you have to appear in court at some point in the process, follow your personal injuries lawyer's instruction, appear presentable, and be respectful to the judge, right? Call the judge your honor, not, Judge John Doe or Judge Jane Doe. No, your honor. Ask the lawyer what his or her fee will be if your case is successful, right? You want to talk about money beforehand from the get-go, right? Because most personal injury attorneys will retain a certain percentage of your settlement. So you want to ensure that you are made aware of this amount before you hire the attorney, right? You want to ask for a service contract that explicitly states this percentage and keep a copy for your personal records. Another thing you have to remember here is that many personal injury attorneys do not charge a fee unless the case is won. This is called contingency, right? Now, some may require you to make a payment before the case is open, but a lot of them are comfortable, especially if they're comfortable with the case, they will go with contingency so that they will take on your case without requiring an out-of-pocket expense, right? Again, it's a give and take, right? So if you are awarded a settlement as the result of your auto accident case, your attorney will then collect a percentage of the monies as his or her service fee. So this is pretty much it. I really appreciate you sticking around for today's conversation. I will see you next time, and until then, remember, stay safe, and marvelous.